Sorry. Alright, welcome to part 39. Okay, so we're getting more assignments done. Well, not the owned by me. Not the owned by me, but we're getting some of the U.S. history done, like I meant. So this one is all about the Columbus North Choir Audition Information 2021. This was from Mrs. Gaffron, so yeah. Hello, and thank you all for your interest in the Columbus North Choir program. Here you will find information on all of our choirs and how to join. Questions can be sent to the director via email at updated 2021 JRG. Dance choreo audition materials are now linked. At the bottom, auditions are due March 10th, the first day of the spring break. If you audition after this date, your audition will still be accepted. There may be a limited room in some of the assembles. The assembles offered by Festival Choir, grades 9 through 12, no prerequisite. I gotta.
Prerequisite.
Prerequisite. No prerequisites. No audition necessary. All genders welcome. A beginning assemble that serves the entire school population, including our exceptional learners. In festival choir, students learn the basics of musicianship, solo and ensemble singing, and general music. This choir often combines with concert choir for bigger numbers. So it's like the prerequisites. Many no prerequisites, like I said. All gender. I took festival choir last year, and I took piano music fund back in second semester of last year. So yeah, I was a sophomore. Concert choir, grades 9 through 12. No prerequisites. Audition required. All genders welcome. An intermediate assembles that serves more advanced underclassmen and under upperclassmen who are most interested into traditional concert literature about jazz show choir. This choir completes at IASSMA organizational contest every spring. In concert choir, students begin to develop more advanced musicianship, solo and ensemble singing, and varied choral repertoire. 25th Street Singers, grades 9 through 12, audition required, all genders welcome, an advanced ensemble that features around 15 elite voices every year. This ensemble often sings jazz, but also been success in contemporary, a cappella, barbershop, and Renaissance era music. While this ensemble is open to all grades, it is often only staffed by upper class singers. This ensemble competes at ISSMA Solo Ensemble Contest and ISSMA Jazz every spring, and sometimes combines with a jazz band and performance singers. Learn advanced musicianships, skilled in varied styles of music. So somebody is here. Fisher Mantooth. Who is that? It's one of the students. North Stars. Okay, so grades 9 through 12, audition and dance call required. Considered unisex for competition purposes. So only students comfortable being identified as female should consider this ensemble. As an advanced show or concert choir, This ensemble competes around the show choir competition circuit and at ISSMA state qualifications in the spring, which consider in many competition categories to be a junior varsity of the two show choirs. Students in North Stars are held in the same rigorous standards as those in our varsity ensemble. Vocal Pointe. However, female identified students new to show choir in our dance will be considered as for North Stars to become vocal pointe. Members of North Stars were allowed to delegate and to play a visual performance, including choreography and costumes and sets, and vocal performance in addition to musical and dance skills. Students are also assessed for maturity, self-discipline, and dedication. If choir were a sport, show choir will be it. Who is Brittany Murphy? Who is Brittany Murphy? Yeah, I somebody followed me on Instagram and it's I think it's one of my fans or something. I don't remember seeing this girl very much. I don't think I have. This looks pretty weird to be honest. But thank you for following me, I guess. Alright, thank you. Yeah, I have like so many followers. I have 388 followers, just letting you know guys, that I have on Instagram. Alright. Vocal Pointe. Grades 9 through 12. Auditioning dance call required. All genders welcome. In an then show or concert choir. This ensemble competes around the show choir competition circuit at the ISSMA state qualifications in the spring. Members of the Vocal Pointe learn about the delicate interplay of visual performance, including choreography, costumes, and sets. In vocal performance, our students are held to a high standard of rehearsal and performance conduct, and outside of school, practice is a must. In addition to musical and dance skills, students are also assessed for maturity, self-discipline, and dedication. If choir were a sport, show choir will be it. Just like it says there. Audition information. Vocal and dance auditions will be virtual this year due to school closures. If you're having trouble submitting your audition materials or have any issues, please do not hesitate to contact a director for assistance. Fill out this Google form to submit your audition information and materials by March 10th. You may create just one video of your vocal audition and make in your dance audition if you're auditioning for a show choir, or two separate videos. Make sure you both are labeled with your last name and first initial if you send two separate videos. In both videos, you must be seen clearly. Dallas or choreographer and our visual director, and I look for expression when you are singing and when you're dancing. Hint: in Dallas' performance video, he is giving facials and adding vocal hits, party talk, showcasing style, and giving tons of energy. You should too. Show us your personality. All auditions materials are due to the director by March 10th. For consideration for the fall semester, after this fall date, availability will be more limited into the show choirs. Vocal auditions. If you guys are in choir, um, you guys should do these things. If one of your music teachers tell you this, probably. Students should prepare a 30 to 60-second prepared piece of their choosing. Generally, I like to hear a verse and a chorus, and they can sing a cappella, no accompaniment. Students should not be listening to a track on headphones or earbuds while singing. A piece should be chosen should be reflective of the symbol they are wishing to join. For instance, for 25th singers or street singers, students may choose to sing a jazz standard. For show choir, students may choose to sing a contemporary music. Students will not be disqualified for auditioning for certain ensembles by their choice of gender. but it's always a good idea to portray a singer you would be in your choosing symbol when auditioning. Dance Call. The dance call is only required for students wanting to audition for North Stars. It's only for girls only. For North Stars, too. In our vocal plenty, the dance call will be conducted by the director of the Columbus Stars choir staff, choreographer, Dallas Pritt. The video of Dallas teaching and performing the combination is available here. You can actually click on it if you want to. Considerations for show choir auditions will take into account both of vocal and dance portions, and Dallas' opinion is heavily considered. Yeah, can be considered by any chances. If you guys have any questions about choir, then just tell me. I'll be happy to help you. American Mysteries. American Mystery, Junior Standard. Rules and General Information. There are only a few rules in my classroom. I expect you to follow them every time you walk through the door. Respect yourself and others in the school. Use appropriate language at all times. Follow directions at the first time they are given. Bring all necessary books and materials to class each day. Stay in your seat until the bell rings each day. My expectations of each student to learn all materials to the best of your ability, to make a measured effort at every activity, lesson, assignment, to turn in all assignments, to become an active, lifelong learner. What you can expect of me in an organized classroom and lessons. I will be prepared to teach you every day of school, that I will learn along with you. To take time when needed to listen to your concerns. What we will be covering this semester. What is a mystery? True crime research project. Read Shelter, read The Fixer, read Edgar Allan Poe stories, view classic mystery movies. Yep, that's all about it. Alright, the FDR's first Fireside chat. So, FDR's first Fireside chat on March 12, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt delivered the following radio talk to the nation for the president's study in the White House at 10 p.m. This is him right here. My fault. I wanted to talk for a few minutes with the people of the United States about banking, with the comparatively few who understand the mechanics of banking, more particularly the overwhelming majority who use banks for making deposits and drawing of checks. I want to tell you what has been done for the last few days, why it was done, and what the next steps are going to be. I recognize that the many proclamations from state capitals and from Washington, the legislation, the Treasury regulations, etc., the couch for the most part in banking legal terms, should be explained for the benefit of the average citizen. I owe this in particular because of the fortitude and good temper with which everybody has accepted an inconvenience and hardships for the banking holiday. I know that when you understand that we in Washington have been talking about, I shall continue to have your cooperation as fully as I had your sympathy as help during the past week. First of all, let me state the simple fact that when you deposit money in a bank, the bank does not put the money into a safe deposit vault and evince your money. Sorry about that. I don't know why it says that. And events their money in many different forms or credit bonds, commercial paper, mortgages, and many other kind of loans. In other words, the bank puts your money to work to keep the wheels of industry and of agriculture and turning around. Uncooperatively, smart part of the money when you put back into the bank is kept in currency. An amount in which in the normal times the wholly sufficient to cover the cash needs of the average citizen. In other words, the total amount of all the currency in the country of only a small fraction of the total deposits in all the banks. It was then that I issued the proclamation of providing for the nationwide bank holiday. And this was the first step in the government's reconstruction of our financial and economic fabric. When was the first fireside chat given? Is it a primary source or secondary source? Why did Roosevelt use the radio to talk to the public? What was the main topic of the chat? According to Roosevelt, what happens to the money when it is deposited into the bank? Explain your own words. How do you think most Americans responded to FDR's fireside chats, which can be explained by this page? All right, defining the three R's at North, which is defining the three R's of North. At North, the three R's help us define who we are and how we behave. They are posted throughout the building, and some of the first things that can be seen when walking in the front door is important to know and understand their meanings. In your own words, define each of the following words: respect, responsibility, and relationships. Now look up dictionary definitions for each of the following: respect, responsibility, and relationships. Briefly explain how there were differences between your definitions and the dictionary definitions. You always have to be respectful at every school. All this. Sorry about that. You can actually hear my dogs. Well, not my dogs, but my This is for my school only, so just to let you know. Okay, so Columbus North High School is where I go to school at. Expectations is general information by the school handbook in back or on track, and do COVID-19 information for students video. BCSE pre-K to 12 reopening plan 2020 draft. Face coverings. Face coverings are required for students and staff. Students and staff will be provided to 2 washable cloth face coverings. They may be removed during the times of physical exertion, eating, and drinking. Arrival. Students arriving by bus will be permitted in the building using door 13. Temperatures will be taken by staff prior to entering the school. Students arriving by car, walking, or bike will have their temperatures taken when entering the door 1 starting at 7:10 a.m. Morning drop at door 15. Morning drop at door 15 is suspended. After school pickup may occur at door 15. Students will utilize hand sanitizer stationed inside door 1 and 13. Gathering of students in large groups is not permitted. Student pickup during the day. Parents are encouraged to call the office and inform them of the time you will pick up your student in the event that your child needs to leave during the school day. Visitors. Only essential visitors will be allowed into the building. After being visually identified, all essential visitors must ask the 2 COVID-19 screening questions. All visitors must wear a protective face covering to be granted access. Volunteering or eating lunch with students is not permitted at this time. The use of teleconferencing is highly encouraged. Cleaning, sanitation. Sorry if I said that. cleaning and sanitation. Over 300 hand sanitizer stations will be inside CNHS. Routine cleaning schedules will be utilized throughout the day for all areas of the building. Each classroom will have a disinfecting cleaning bottle to aid in the cleaning. Consistent reinforcement of hand washing and healthy habits will be done. Restrooms. We will discourage groups of students being released to the restroom at one time. We will discourage students for congregating in restrooms during passing periods. Cleaning restrooms consistently with the priority for our custodial staff. Alright, so classrooms. The classroom environment is being adjusted to maximize physical distancing. Students will not be permitted to share supplies. Safety and sanitation procedures will be utilized within the classroom. Each classroom will have a disinfecting cleaning bottle to aid in the cleaning. Teachers will assign seats to the students and document the seating arrangements for contact tracing purposes. Students will maintain physical distancing during the cafeteria line up for lunch. Spaced seatings will be utilized and the cafeteria will remain at 50% or less in capacity. 4 lunch periods are being developed. Foods and utensils will not be shared. Cafeteria tables are frequently cleaned. Water fountains. Personal water bottles may be used, or one will be provided by BCSE. Touchless water bottle filling stations will be available. Water fountains will be turned off as recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Can be also called by presentation. Sorry about that. Sorry. CDC. CNHS will have 7 touchless water bottle stations. Students will wear masks when transitioning in the hallway during the passing period. Students will not be able to congregate into large groups during the passing period. Each student will be assigned a locker. Sharing lockers will not be permitted. Each school will have an identified isolation area for students and staff experiencing COVID-19 like systems to wait for a parent or guardian. Mascot Bulldogs. Okay, so I'm still looking at when will COVID end? I'm going to look around on COVID. I have some news about okay, so COVID-19 cases are falling. This could be the beginning of the end of the pandemic. Okay, so it's until March. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but hopefully, okay, so when will the pandemic end? So, um, still looking. This was made previously. Okay, so don't worry, still looking, guys. How long does the COVID vaccine last? It is too soon to know how long the vaccine will last. It is currently being researched with the people who have received the vaccine. We know that they have been protected for COVID-19 for at least 4 months. Okay, so so about the COVID, okay, so will COVID end in April? Okay, so Dr. Scott Gottlieb said it might take longer. I'm not sure it's going to be true or not, but hopefully. Um, okay, so 500,000 lost in COVID-19. Dang, that's a lot of people. But the pandemic's end is now within reach at February 21st of 2021. Okay, so the COVID might be over it could be over by April. I'm not sure if it's going to be true or not, but hopefully. Many kids are saying, many kids are like asking people about when will the COVID be over? It could be over by April, but I'm not currently sure if it's going to be true or not. But hopefully it will be over. It will be over because COVID has been almost a year now, and hopefully I am so I am so sick and tired of wearing the masks and stuff. They're completely stupid. Yeah, hopefully it won't be like this forever. Hope not, because many people are getting tired of it that I've heard on the news. Sorry. How to find and turn things in Mr. Burton's class. When I go to his learning for Mr. Burton's class, what tab do I use to find work? Do I put all the assignments in the same Google Doc, or do I start a new one? My bad. Do I need to put my name on each new assignment? Do I copy and paste the title and questions, or just write answers? When I am done with the assignment, should I send Mr. Burton a link to that assignment? How often should I contact Mr. Burton? What are the best ways to contact Mr. Burton? Does this assignment count as for a grade? I'll let you know in the comments. So let me know in the comments about. But my responses will be on the answer key whenever I get done with the not owned by me assignments that I didn't even write. Okay, so let's continue with the U.S. history drop bombing situation. I'm just going to read Edith's response. Edith's response was, I would have not dropped that bomb. I would have warned Japan of what was going to happen and what wave or when had been a lot of deaths. I would have also told them to every way as soon as possible is to sign a deal of ending the war to be on our side. My bad. Yeah, Edith's response was pretty clear. Yeah, it can be pretty clear of all this stuff. Okay, so, I'm gonna read Ben Simon's response. Okay, so Ben's response was, somebody doing a live video. I don't feel like joining. Sorry, that was my phone. Okay, so I would have bombed Japan just the way the United States did. For the tactical standpoint, for atomic bombs, they were probably the most cost efficient and life-saving. Vietnam had a similar landscape in fighting style to Japan, and we lost so many Americans to Vietnam. Also, the Japanese were willing to throw everything at the war as well. They didn't surrender after the U.S. warned and made the city disappear. The atomic bomb was the best and fastest way to end WW2. Okay, so, what do you think is his response? Okay, so I'm just gonna do Josie. I would have warned the Japanese of a plane to drop the bomb. I would have been sure to include the severity of the situation and explain in great detail what the bombing will do. If the Japanese understood exactly what the bombing was going to do to their home, people, soldiers, and buildings, and businesses, they might have reevaluated the situation. This would have given them a chance to surrender, but Japanese didn't back down until they were bombed, so this was the best option for the United States. Okay, so, I'm gonna read Aiden's response. Okay, so Aiden's response was, I would have still dropped the bombs on Japan. Not because I just like killing, but it had a very good outcome, excluding the dying the atomic bombs demonstration, where destruction and power have showed the entire world how bad it would be to have a nuclear war. It also led the measures being put in place to prevent such wars. The Japanese would have never given up. The only other option would have been to invade the island, which would have led millions of deaths. Statistics say, obviously, the bombings were horrible things to happen, but sometimes things are just unavoidable. Yeah, like some avoids can be pretty available, so avoidable. Yeah. All right, Area's response. I would have done the combination of options 2 and 3. I would have warned them about dropping the bomb, explained to demonstrate how the bomb worked. Doing this could have potentially saved civilians' lives and unnecessary damage. However, if they rejected the offer, I would continue with the dropping the bomb. I would not share or when or how the bomb would be dropped. During the explanation demonstration, because the planes carrying the bombs could be easily intercepted. All right. I don't know, it's like 6 or 5. I'm not really sure. All right. Paulo's response. Paulo's response was, no, I would have never dropped the bomb on anyone. I don't know why someone would create such thing, like what they were thinking about making that bomb. I get that they did attack Pearl Harbor, but why would they throw bombs at them? If I was going to drop that bomb, I would have warned that people. I would tell them that the bomb is way too strong, so I can at least destroy the city and not hurt the people. I wouldn't make them sign a deal to be on our side. Don't attack the on American territories. I would not take away their military weapons and stuff. I would not make them surrender and join us. I would not make them to never attack other countries for no reason at all. Yeah, Paula's response was pretty clear, to be honest. Alright, 5 is Elijah. I would have kept fighting the way the US was already fighting Japan. The US did have a lot of wins over Japan was winning the war in general, and soon I would try to make a deal with Japan to end the war. Like, it can be more like an exception to anyone, too. Alright, 5. This is actually 4. Sorry. I'm gonna do Adalberto. Adalberto's response was, I would have dropped the bombs on Japan. They didn't understand the surrender is an option, and they wouldn't want to talk to us, and I think they would have thought our warnings more than a fluke because they were never atomic bombs used in before, and the Japanese leaders wouldn't want to come to the U.S. soil for a demonstration of how it come to work. Like it would have worked, and they wouldn't accept the peace treaty, and they only really understood the war, and the tactics were used before we would have killed more Allied forces in depth in invading Japan. Would have taken more of the lives with it, and dropping the bombs were kind of the last straw, and they listened to that, they understood the full power, and they were surrendered, and I am saddened by the fact of how many people killed it. Yeah, he was like saddened by the fact of how many people killed it, but they wouldn't take the surrender as an option, so that's why it had to be done, and it worked by the surrender, and it would also discourage any more follow-up to attacks on the Allied forces. Alright, a few more. Then I'm ending this video. Okay, so, alright, Reese's response was, assuming I know everything I know now, I don't think I would be able to make any decision other than to drop the atomic bombs as they were done by President Truman. It would be an awful decision, but given how well it had turned out for Japan long term, accepting the bomb sites in a global nuclear war had been kept at bay for years. That is a decision I can see with the least amount of death. In total, there have been around 200,000 deaths for the atomic bombs. 200,000 people. That's a lot of people, bruh. For the atomic bombs, I think the option what 2, I think option 2 would essentially turn into number 4 because they were so ingrained into the never surrender mindset. I think they would ignore me in option 3 and also turning into option 4. In option 4, many more people would die, Americans and Japanese alike. The island hopping was awful and bloody, especially because the U.S. Army's habits of not leaving and torturing the natives, and the Japanese fair city against giving up the ground. I think option 5 would prevent Japan from being the technological powerhouse it is today, and not adequately prevent Japan from trying to take over the world again. Alright, 2 more. I'm gonna read Brooks' response. Brooks' response was, I would have dropped the atomic bomb on Japan. When they had tried to talk with Japan, they would not listen. They would only understood how serious as we were. If we did drop the bomb, this would have been necessary if they would just follow the peace treaty. War isn't always the answer. If they had left no other choice. Many people were killed. But that was the cost of they were willing to make. It showed our true senses of power in when we were going to drop a number of Japan and finally surrendered. But Japan leaders had to been feeling awful because they were the cause of so many deaths. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Brooke. Yeah. All right, Cole's response. Cole's response was, okay, I would have told them to how devastating it was. Then I would have shown the demonstration on what it would have done. Basically, forcing them to try to surrender before it was done. Yeah, Cole is actually right on that one. So it actually represents many conversations, and all of the surrenders have been taken over for the past time. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for the video, if you guys have any questions for the other parts of the assignments, just let me know. If you guys have any responses, go ahead. You can actually comment down below, and I'll give you a shout out. You guys can actually answer. Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want. Alright, so see you guys on part 40.